This is Dirshu Mishnah Berurah as we begin Simin Reish Samoch Gimel. Continuing the halachas of Hadlakas Neiros, the Machaber coins this Simin Mivami Hamadlikin. Who are those that light candles? And we'll see there's also a conversation that ensues about what if someone's ta'u. He makes a mistake on a cloudy day, which we will get to later in the Simin. But we begin with the basic halachas of Hadlakas Neiros, says the Machaber. Yehi Zahir, one should be careful ner yafeh, to make a beautiful ner, a beautiful candle, a beautiful wick, as we'll see. V'yesh mechavnin, and there are those that are precise. Lasois shtei psilois, to make two wicks. Echad keneged zachar ve'echad keneged shamar. Which, by the way, right away you see something very interesting in the Machaber, that you see that the Iker, the main mitzvah, is Ner Yafeh, just to light a candle for Shabbos. And then there are those, V'yesh Mechavdin, to do two psilois, one for Zachar and one for Shamar. Of course, the Ramah adds in, V'yachalim l'haisef, you're able to add on, L'halik shleisha barneos, 3 or 4 candles, L'chein nagu, and such is the minuk. Ha'isha she'chacha b'amachas ta'alik, and that's a new halacha which we're going to wait for. So let's go straight into the Mishnah Berurah over here, Simchat and Aleph, in which he discusses this halacha, the basic obligation of Hadlakas Neiros. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Yezayer, hine ikar Hadlakas haneru chayva. Why? Reason number one, says the Mishnah Berurah, quoting Taisvis, Mishum mitzvahs oineg Shabbos. There's a mitzvah to have enjoyment on Shabbos, and you need to have light. Umachmas hider mitzvah, and for a beautification of the mitzvah, yeras lasisa yafeh. So the ikar mitzvah oineg Shabbos, you want there to be light. Hider, to beautify the mitzvah, you want to have a nice light. And the consideration simfaf. Yafeh simkat the beis yisem b'shas zocha avor zeh. That what is the reward? What does one get for lighting candles, a likava in Shabbos, in a beautiful manner? Says the Gemara, quotes the Mishnah Berurah, lebanim talmidei chachamim. An incredible schos. Children who are talmidei chacham, dersev, as the pasuk says, ki ner mitzvah v'tayrar. Al yedei ner mitzvah, it's a drosh, the via, the ner of the mitzvah, the Shabbos, ba'ara de Torah, comes the light of Torah. Ulekach, and therefore says the Mishnah Berurah, Rayu shetismal isha, achashetigma adlaka v'abracha to roi. It's befitting to daven when you finish lighting the candles and you make the bracha. She'itin la'akadosh baruch hu banim zecharim me'irim b'Torah. Shedaven, that Hashem give you male children that will light up the world with Torah. V'Hadlakas haner, continues the Mishnah Berurah, sarach liyos. Where is the location of Hadlakas haner, says the Mishnah Berurah? It has to be b'kol achadarim, in all the rooms shalich sham Shabbos, in your own Shabbos. Al kol panim ner echad, as we pointed out, one light. Av she'ino echol sham. A misconception, says Mishnah Berurah, even if you're not eating there, there's a mitzvah of Eineg Shabbos to ensure light in every room. Now the Mishnah adds on a second reason. So you don't trip. Where do you make the bracha? On the candles where you eat. The last is to make two candles, explains the Mishnah Berurah, if someone cannot afford it. It's better to have one nice candle than two inferior candles, which again just reiterates the point that we started with, that the Iker mitzvah is one candle. When you're using oil, with candles, you're allowed to light from one candle to the next. Whether lighting 2 or more candles. Why? The kulan shal mitzvahim, they're all part of the mitzvah. Aval, but be very precise, which word has said you can light one candle to the next candle. Aval, be careful, what is aser? Lahalik kesam oiner shel chol miner shel Shabbos. But you can't use an intermediary candle, a match, or anything like that. Why? Misham bizoi mitzvah, because that is a bizayon to the mitzvah to light another candle in between. Let's say you're lighting the wet match to light another Shabbos candle. No, don't light from the Shabbos candles. So to be precise, when someone wants to know, can they light from one candle to the next? The answer is ostensibly yes. But practically often the answer is no when you're going and you're taking a match in between. Echad keneged zachar v'echad keneged shamar, says Mishabur Sukkot, hey, there are those who make a wax candle with two wicks. They were set together. Says Mishmur, it's a beautiful minhag. But those at the time of lighting make it so close, and that's incorrect. So he's talking about the fact they would make some sort of braided candle, but that ended with two different wicks to show it's Zachar and Shamar, Baba Diber Echad. But says Mishtabru, if you make the two very close to each other, it's a problem. It causes the other one to melt. Says Mishabur, you cannot light Shabbos candles from Goyisha, candles of Avodah even if there's no longer Goyim there, and therefore you're allowed to get benefit, but you can't do a mitzvah with it. If you it's disgusting. The shard's the only candle you have. It's motor mikol makol livarech hazedo mikol bracha. Ayin leel semikov nandal sivyadav mashikasamnu sham. And then the Ramah added on. You're allowed to add on. He said yesh nahagim lahalik shivan eres. So Mishnah now quotes a bunch of minhagim. Magen Avram says some of the minhags light 7 candles. Why? Can I get shivs meishvu? V'yesh asara, and some light 10 candles. Why? Can I get asara sadibrais? V'yesh, it says in Mishnah there are those that light. Excuse me, v'ein shrichel. Excuse me, lios kulan al shulchan. They do not have to be on your table. Now, with that, we move on to the Dirshu over here. That Dirshu discusses this opening halachas of Hadlakas Neiros. Sivkata now, number 1 says the Dirshu you should mishum hider should make a ner yafa. Says the Mishtabura, this is all the candles that you make where you eating. That's what you're making the bracha on. But the rest of the candles on your house are just there so that you don't trip. And you don't have to necessarily have the beautiful candle. Says the Graz, they don't have to be beautiful for that reason. Similarly, says Rav Halsner and Shevet Alevi, the minhag to have many kilos taling their Shabbos. Echad kidem and eres Rav Macherim v'sharim mekamis abayish and eres acherim einu sichlios royal and ner Shabbos. So the Shevet Alevi, back in a nostalgic world without electricity, you light one beautiful, and then you light other candles just for light. And over there it says Mishtabura and Sevav and Rish Samachtal regarding this Hiddur mitzvah min amod chlar to light with Shem and Zayis. And the Mishtabura over there explains Sha'ur shal zamin nimshach because it lights beautifully. And it's a Hiddur mitzvah, it's a wonderful ner. By Ner Chanukah is another reason, of course, because the Nes was done with the ner. And you want Yafim, you want beautiful Neiros, of course. We'll get to the conversation of nowadays that wax candles maybe light even better. Continues the Dirshu here, note number 3, that on Yontif says there's some Zalman. Do you have the same obligation to light in each and every room? Says there's some Zalman? No. There's no Chiyav to light in all the rooms. Why? Because on Yontif you're able to move a candle and you can just move it from place to place when you need it. These Neiros, says Rav Osner, is not Me'ikar Adin, it's the Hiddur mitzvah. Why? Because once you lit one time, you're going to eat. Everything else is just a Hiddur. Now, let's say there's already light, and therefore there's no worry that you're going to trip. Says Rav Osner, there's no obligation to light extra candles. Why? Because the whole obligation was to make sure that you're not going to trip. You're Mekayim, you're mitzvah with the candles we're going to eat. You're lighting your other rooms. You have electricity, so it's no problem. Now, if you want to turn off electricity, it's a lichvos, it's aramir, lechadi abayis, adli shamar, lechvad Shabbos. It's a Hiddur mitzvah. So the way that we can say it is that on a Friday, anytime you're turning on the lights, plus flag of mincha, if you have in mind that it's part of your kavod Shabbos, then you get this extra Hiddur mitzvah. We said there's no busy mitzvah to light one candle to the next. Why? Because it's all part of the mitzvah. However, it says Dirshu number 6 to melt in a candle with another candle. Says Hashem Zalmin, even though they're all a kavod Shabbos, that is a busy mitzvah. You have a candle and you want to melt in the bottom to stick in. that you should not do. Now, if you want to take a fire from a yontif candle to light for cooking, we'll get in Hilchos Yontif Tavkuf Yud Daled in Mirza Hashem. Continues the Dirshu number 8 that you're not doing what's appropriate. The Halacha says, Namakayim the mitzvah. If they didn't use these candles in the base of Avodah Zarah, then it's not also, it doesn't have the same status. Okay, now what about the candlesticks that they use for Avodah Zarah, and Yid bought them after there's no longer Avodah Zarah over there? The Taz says you're not allowed to use them for Shabbos. El Yerabah says you can be makeup. Go with the Taz that Lamaisa, you should not be using these candlesticks even after the church, even after the base of Avodah Zarah is no longer. And we'll pause over here. We'll pick it up, finishing Sif Aleph about the Kenas. If you forget to light candles the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.